flexibility as being important for a remote mindset for two specific reasons. The first is the traditional, I think, adaptability that we all have come to know and love in this role. Assistants are constantly having to pivot, strategically find ways to quickly change plans. And that's really important, and probably slightly more important in remote orgs, because I feel in a lot of ways that time is sped up. So when there's an emergency in a remote org, it usually needs to happen pretty quickly, where there is some time for business and things, business days to turn around before that happens in real life. So we have to be adaptable. We need to have secondary and tertiary plans to make sure that we can pivot. Zoom has gone down. What do we do now? Google Docs aren't loading. How do we stay productive and communicative? So these are the kinds of questions and probably issues that you are going to come across while you're working. The second thing I talk about, though, and this is probably really unique to working from home, is awareness. So about your craftsmanship. In remote work, it's really important to be able to collaborate very effectively without ego. So one of the things I mentioned in the book, in the course book, is taking pride in your work without taking it personally. This means that you're able to do your best work without being overly emotionally invested in the work being approved or seen as awesome. We all love a gold star and approval, but it's really important that you be able to put 100% effort into something that could potentially be rejected or dismissed, and realize that it is not a reflection on your intellectual capability or your personal worth. And I find that when I allow myself to do my best work for the sake of the work itself, rather than external approval or validation or praise, that I'm able to be just as creative when that idea is shot down or not embraced as widely as I would have liked it to be, because I'm not overly unduly invested or stuck on the initial idea. So I can create a ton of great and generate a ton of new creative ideas after that idea has, maybe been passed on by the group, and be able to turn around to do something very different and move in a totally different direction. Something I've seen throughout my career, especially working with creative agencies, is they tend to get very siloed thinking when it comes to one standard idea. They're going in this artistic direction, and it prevents them from being able to see how many more directions you could be going in. And they keep trying to continuously try to justify and reassert the importance and primacy of a specific idea or direction, rather than being able to quickly turn around and say, this is an important piece of work that doesn't necessarily work for this time or context, and that's okay. So let's try another direction. So being flexible in that way, especially in a remote environment, is really important, because when you don't see people face to face, it's very easy to not give them the benefit of the doubt, for tense relationships to build up, to think that things are happening without your visibility, to think that maybe people are talking in another chat room and saying that my work isn't very good. And what that does is it sends you into an intellectual spiral that actually inhibits your productivity. So I really ask assistants to focus their awareness on taking pride in their work, which means delivering high quality, excellent work without taking the work personally. So those are the 2 points on flexibility I hope you all are able to take away from this.